Hello?
Yeah.
You did it too many times.
Sorry.
You're just supposed to give it like the good 1-2 tap. Maybe 3. Anyways. Well, this
feel
is episode 66.
Is it?
I don't know, is it?
It's either 65 or 66, but I believe it's 66, yeah.
It's definitely 66.
Well, why didn't you just say that the first time instead of confusing me?
You were terrible at this.
I know.
I'm gonna make you do the intros from now on.
I've been doing the intros this whole
I'm
time.
doing the intros, yeah.
All
Cry
right.
about it.
All right, I'll just do it because you aren't doing it right now, so.
Good.
All right, well, this is episode 66, everyone. It's titled Blow Your Mind.
Oof.
Oof.
Big oof.
And we talk about oral sex, fellatio. No, I'm just kidding. We don't talk about any of that stuff.
Oh, I thought we were... For some reason, I thought we were talking about the London Bridge thing. I thought we had that in the podcast because you started with that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, we could have talked about the London
No,
Bridge.
we
Maybe
don't need to talk about that.
Maybe next week we'll talk about like Urban Dictionary.
I learned a new word, though. Cunnilingus. That was pretty cool.
You didn't know that word?
I've heard it before.
What kind of American are you?
I don't know.
I don't think it's an American word.
Probably
Maybe it
not.
is. I don't know. Anyway, we do our weekly news stories, and then we get some blow your mind facts, which I don't know if any of them blew my mind.
They really didn't. You kind of failed.
That last one, though.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the last one kind of blew my mind, I would say. I was like, wow.
They need to bring it back.
France is pretty crazy, man.
America, pick up the slack, dude. Let's go.
Like, all this time I thought France, you know, the red and blue part of their flag was just Velcro and you could take it off. It's all white.
That's effed up.
I'm just kidding. I love you, France.
French fries, dude.
Don't guillotine me.
Should.
Anyway, as always, I'm his son,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the Cold One with the Boys.
So, I know we've had this conversation before multiple times. I don't know how much we've talked about it on the podcast, but I know you've always wanted to have children in the future. And I've kind of always been like an avid, I'm not going to have kids, I don't think, in my lifetime position. And
Which will change.
everybody keeps saying that. And like to this point, with the amount of people that keep saying that, I'm getting to the point to where I'm like gonna force myself not to have kids so I can just prove you wrong out of spite for everybody.
You're just not gonna do it out of spite. What a dickhead.
And you know, some of the main reasons I give is I'm very jealous of my time. I like being the center of attention in my marriage, you know. Not the center of attention, but I like getting my wife's attention, you know, on a daily basis. And if I have a kid, I won't get that. And I'm a big baby. I'm not afraid to admit it. But the other thing is growing up in a world where I see headlines like this in the news. Florida woman threw her 10-month-old baby against a wooden fence because she was mad.
Well, I mean, I understand the headline, but you having kids doesn't mean you would do that.
Of course, I know I would never throw my child against a fence, but like this is the world we're expected to bring kids up in.
I mean, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, okay. So this is one thing. It's definitely the best time ever in history to be alive. Like, I've thought about it before and like, you know, thinking, oh, well, it would have been cool to grow up in the 70s or 80s because, you know, rock music and everyone was so free, but not
disco clothing would be the best.
right. But at the same time, it's not because like I like the things we have. I like the video games. I like the online aspect of everything. I like the cell phones.
Right.
And so I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go in the future. I don't really want to find out far in the future.
Do you think this stuff happened 15, 20 years ago?
Yes.
People
Absolutely.
throwing their children against a fence?
Absolutely. It just wasn't televised, or it wasn't caught until later, and it was very, little town based. Like I mean, I listen to true crime podcasts, so
Mm-hmm.
I hear about stuff like this from the 70s all the time, but it's not televised on a national basis because it's not like there's other news stories that would take precedence over a news story like that happened in some small town in Georgia or something. So
Right.
um, but yeah, now that we have, we're in the information age. Yeah, you hear about all this stuff all the time everywhere. And it just seems like the world is super bad, but it's just the same. It's just, you hear about everything now. So it seems so much worse.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I don't want to get too political about it, but the whole thing with like the, late term abortion stuff coming up, like if you're gonna treat your child like trash, like do it a favor and get rid of it.
I mean, I don't really
Maybe
have,
not, don't abort it, but put it up for adoption. If you can't handle being a parent to where you get to the point to where you have to throw your child against the fence, I'm assuming the kid was, getting fussy, or, she was out trying to get with her man or whatever, and she had to have her kid. It was being, a little, being a child, and instead of being a parent, she decided to throw it against the fence.
I mean, I think even if you're pro choice or pro life, I think everyone in all circles can agree that some people just shouldn't be parents because they're not ready to have kids, or they're not mentally fit to have kids. So I think everyone can agree there. But yeah, I mean,
They need to be sterilized.
I definitely think a lot more people should get vasectomies and whatever the female version is called, where they get their tubes.
Spay them, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think a lot more people should think about having kids in a much, much more serious note than, oops, an accident.
Yeah, for sure.
Accidents happen. It happens everywhere. I'm not saying like, contraceptives and condoms are an 100% thing. Even pulling out, that's not an 100% chance.
Bad idea.
So, it can happen. It's natural. But just make sure that, in my opinion, if you're having sex, no matter what you do, how safe you are in sex, just make sure if you're doing it that you better be prepared if something pops
Take
out.
care of a child. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it does happen to where, your significant other or just some chick you met the other day comes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm pregnant," you better get your life together and get ready to take care of that kid.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It just sickens me to see stuff like that. Like I can't believe that was a headline. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing with you having kids or not having kids, is I know, like, just from knowing you for so long, I know you would be a really good parent. And I'm not just saying that because you're my friend. I just think you would, and you're afraid of things that you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be afraid
I'm
of.
afraid of a lot of stuff.
You are.
Kind of like you. I'm afraid of you, especially if we lived in Arizona.
Why?
Because,
is this a segue?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because it's no longer a felony to own nunchucks in Arizona.
Hell yeah, dude. Cowabunga, dude.
And I feel like for some reason, like some deepest, darkest secret that you have is that you own a pair of nunchucks somewhere.
Me?
Yeah, I could just
Why
see
would
you like owning nunchucks. I don't know. For some reason, I see you as being that kid that like stood in the living room watching the Karate Kid or like a Bruce Lee movie,
Hell
like
no.
whipping his
That's not me at
around,
all.
dude.
Like, I like my fair share of Jackie Chan movies, but he wasn't a big nunchuck user.
No.
And like Michelangelo's like my third favorite Ninja Turtle, so nunchucks aren't up there for me. Sorry.
I guess they were illegal In some states, they're illegal in New York, Arizona, obviously. But they were, I guess, a law that was passed back in the 70s. With all they decided to ban them back then because all the martial arts movies coming out with like Bruce Lee and stuff like that. Like people are gonna buy these nunchucks and get out there and start beating people to death with them. I was like, you know what? Nunchucks. I would be more scared of somebody coming at me with a baseball bat than whipping around a pair of nunchucks.
Well, the thing is also, I think a lot of people hurt themselves with nunchucks trying to do all that stuff, like the fancy shit that you
Yeah,
see in the.
bust their face open.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe it was more of a danger to yourself than anyone else. Um,
Like, what is the point of nunchucks? Like, it's, if I feel like I need to clarify this with myself, but it's the two sticks with the chain in the middle.
yeah.
Yeah, like, that's not gonna scare me.
Oh, dude. If you got hit across the head with one of those, though, poof.
Well, of course, it's gonna hurt. But like I said, I would find a stick and like swing it at him.
Well, yeah, that's why Donatello's better than Michelangelo.
All right. Well, I don't know
Ninja
the
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. I feel like they were like demonic when I was a kid or something. And my mom wouldn't
Oh
let me
my
watch
god.
them.
Yeah, Donatello's the one with the stick, the staff. So,
So I know there's one with a staff, one that had like the little tri-bladed pokers,
right.
little dagger-looking things, the nunchucks, and then there was a fourth one, right?
Yeah.
He had swords.
Yep.
Hey, all right, I remember.
Yeah, the leader, Raphael, the red.
The rat.
No, well, okay, their like father slash leader was, yeah, Splinter, the rat.
Okay.
But the leader of the actual turtles was Raphael. He's the oldest. He has the daggers, or I think they're called stilettos. I'm not sure what the actual name of those kinds of.
I feel like stiletto is the switchblade knife that is like encased inside, and when you press it, it comes
Yeah,
up from the top.
it's definitely not stiletto. I don't remember what the official name of those daggers are. But then he is the oldest, but the leader of the group was Leonardo, which was the second oldest. He's the one with the swords. Or sorry, no, he's not the second oldest. He's the third oldest. Donatello is my favorite. He's the nerd with the staff. He's purple. And then
You're a wizard, Harry.
the comic relief was Michelangelo with the nunchucks.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't watch it much as a kid. I just remember the rat. And I thought the rat was. I always thought the rat was the same guy that like trained Batman for the longest time.
Dude, you didn't play like Turtles in Time back in the day? I don't know. I don't even remember what console that was.
I didn't have my first console till I was like 15 and it was an N64. So.
Yeah, no, we get it. You're uncultured.
Yeah. Anyways. I was reading this story and it took me about 15 seconds to remember who this guy was. Dennis Rodman, accused of stealing 400-pound amethyst crystal from a yoga studio.
Hell yeah, dude.
He was the professional basketball player that played with the Bulls and Michael Jordan, and he always had like the goofy colored hair, right?
Yeah. He played for several teams. Yeah. He's also the one that dated Madonna. He's also the one that talked to Kim Jong-un apparently about like having relations with the U.S.
What? Run that by me one more time.
Like apparently Dennis Rodman is like cool with Kim Jong-un, like they're friends.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, I mean he's been there before. He's like worked with Trump and I think past presidents as well to try to get relations with North Korea.
That's weird. Why does he care about North Korea?
I don't know. I think he just likes him. He's a chubby Asian dude, man.
Hey, well, whatever. Anyways, it says the owner of a Southern California yoga studio is accusing Dennis Rodman of helping 3 people steal more than $3,500 in merchandise from his business. So apparently, him and 3 other accomplices walked into this hot yoga place in Newport Beach, and one of the people distracted the employees while the rest of them were stealing clothes and a 400-pound amethyst crystal from the front desk. He then returned later in the week, tried to distract a different employee, and they again grabbed clothes that were on display and left. The police were called. When they went to investigate, uh, he, well, the police that were doing an investigation, nobody's been arrested. I guess TMZ caught up with Dennis Rodman, and he told them that the studio's owner offered him the clothes as gifts in exchange for moving the crystal.
What?
Moving the crystal out of his store into your pocket or into your car, and he gave you free clothes for that.
Hey man, when you're that rich as Dennis Rodman is, you gotta find something to entertain you. You know what I mean?
Is he rich still at this point?
Yeah, I would say so.
Just from playing ball?
Not only from play. Look, I mean, when you play ball, yeah, you're getting all the money right then and there. But you know, most people invest it, and I'm pretty sure he invested it. Like he's good for the rest of his life.
Oh, fair enough.
Um,
The guy probably owed him money or something, I feel.
he's also been on several like game shows, and I think he was on The Apprentice when Trump was running that. So,
I have no idea.
but yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta do something with your time. Like, you know, Winona Ryder.
Mm-mm. The name sounds familiar.
She's the love interest in Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler.
I know the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, she was caught in like early 2000s, maybe in the late 90s.
Right.
That she was like a klepto, dude. Like she could not resist stealing stuff when she was in a store.
Yes.
So she would often, you know, like once they caught her once, they like looked through all these security tapes of missing stuff, and they saw Winona Ryder up in there with like sunglasses and a hat, like putting stuff in her purse and shit.
Dude, like, is kleptomania like a legitimate thing? Like you just can't help but steal stuff?
I don't know if it's a real disorder or not. I haven't really looked at it, but from what I know, a kleptomaniac is someone that just loves to steal stuff.
Is it just the joy or the
Right,
rush of
yeah, the
stealing?
thrill of stealing something. So, I mean, and she has all the money she could ever want. You know, she was an actress from a very young age, Winona Ryder. So, I mean, I don't know. She just wanted to steal stuff.
I get it. I guess if I had all the money in the world, like, eventually buying stuff is going to get boring, and you're going to have to find something else to do with your time.
Well, yeah, but like, there's so much more to life than buying stuff.
I mean, kinda.
I'd want to travel.
Yeah, but that's buying stuff, right?
Yeah, but you can't steal a plane ride.
Oh, but you can.
I'm sure you can.
There's a guy just not a couple months ago stole that jet off the runway, crashed it, and killed himself.
That's true. But he was an employee. He had like an insider look at planes.
I think he was like a baggage type guy or something. He said he got all of his training from Flight Simulator.
Yeah, he was, from what I understood, he's one of those guys that when everyone has left the plane,
debarked.
Yeah, debarked or deplaned, he would be the one that goes on there, make sure everything's clean, make sure everything's like turned off. And he would, you know, shut down the plane essentially. Well, he was just like, let's turn it back on. Let's get out of here.
Man. That guy's got some balls for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you know what durian is?
Durian?
Yeah, you've been watching Chopped a lot, right?
Well, I have, but I don't know what durian is.
You haven't gotten through the episodes where they have the durian?
No.
So apparently it's a fruit from Southeast Asia, and it's actually banned for most public areas because it stinks. Like it has like this atrocious odor. Anytime and supposedly it can be really good or it can be really bad. Like you either love the taste of it or you hate the taste of it. And I've watched the people cook with it on Chopped before, and every time they cut that thing open, their face just turns that super sour, like somebody just shat their pants, right next to me, and they're like sitting down in a chair and like squishing it around. You know that?
Yeah.
Where their veins in their neck come out. Why would you ever want to eat? Anyways, They had to evacuate a university uh, because somebody cut open one of these things and left it in the library, and they thought it was like a natural gas leak, and so they had to evacuate like 600 something people in like 6 minutes. 550 people left the building in under 6 minutes because they thought they had a gas leak or something.
Wow. Well, does it smell like gas?
Apparently,
I mean, if it smells like gas, then sign me up, dude. I love the smell of gasoline.
they say that it's described as a mixture of turpentine and onions garnished with a gym sock. Now,
Oof.
do you know what turpentine smells like?
No.
No, it's like a brass cleaner. So it's gonna be something similar to like what MEK or something like that
Oh,
at work
okay.
smells like. Onions and a gym sock.
Yeah, that's pretty
Now,
disgusting.
and they say it can also mimic the smell of gasoline. Now I don't know how turpentine, onions, and gym socks get you to gasoline. I don't see the connection, but hey, we're gonna have to test it. We'll put all three of those together, shake it up, smell it, and smell some gas. But
I mean, like, I don't know if you've had experience with this. Now, I love mango candy. I love mango drinks. I like the mango flavor. However, I have this experience with mangoes where if you've actually had an actual mango,
uh-huh.
it smells bad to me.
Really? Like the fresh fruit mango?
Right.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know if this is just like a memory of mine. I've only ever been near like a real mango like 3 times in my life, but um, every time I'm just like, oh, that smells bad.
No, I don't think I've ever. I hate how hard it is. Like you can't bite it like a pear.
Right.
Like you have to cut it. But I don't ever remember it smelling.
Yeah. I don't. I think it's just some weird like the I can't think of the spice right now. It's me and you like it. It's in a lot of Mexican food.
Cilantro?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So for some people, apparently, like there's something in people's genes and taste buds, where cilantro to some people tastes like soap. So it could be something like that with your your scent, um, your nose.
Glands or
Yeah,
something.
scent glands where
Yeah.
you just smell it different.
Huh.
That
But
makes me think, man, like how many things out there are seen different? Like when I see something that's red,
uh-huh.
do you see it a different shade of red?
Probably. I would say so. Maybe not me and you, but I know. I mean, obviously, there's colorblind people. But looking at this red bar on the computer, you may see that as a different hue of red than what I do. So there's no
Well, I'm
telling.
like, how would you know if, like, let's say the blue that I see,
Uh huh.
you see red, like my red, but your blue, but like your red is my blue. Like, what if those two were mixed and you just don't know? You've always known red is blue and blue is red.
Well, that would be colorblind.
Well, no, no, no. I'm not saying like you have a um, impairment being colorblind. I'm saying like, what if you just don't know? Because like the American flag, you would say the colors around the stars are blue, but what if in your mind what you saw was my red, and I just didn't know?
Well, you're getting into way too much. Like you're trying to make me think right now, and that's too much. I'm already done a whole day's worth of work.
Sorry.
But yeah, like that's pretty crazy stuff. Obviously, different people see different colors, smells are different. The way you feel something, like when you touch something, it's gonna feel different than other people.
I've heard that there's even people. It's a very very rare. I wouldn't call it a disorder, but I've heard there's something really rare where people can actually see sound. Like if
I
I,
feel like that's baloney. Somebody's
you think so?
either smoking something or taking a little bit of acid.
Not see sound like like sound waves or something. I'm saying like when I say something out of my mouth, it literally visualizes for them in writing, like coming out of your mouth.
They're taking drugs.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's probably what it is. But
I mean, in this day and age, everybody's on drugs.
yeah, dude, I'm on heroin right now.
Black tar heroin, dude. Yeah, I don't. I mean, Who knows? We'll never know. You know, people can say stuff just to get attention too.
That's
But
true.
I love how this guy, speaking of the durian, I love how this guy kind of, what is the word I'm looking for? Describes it. There we go. He said it's indescribable, something you will either love or despise. He said your breath will smell as if you had been French kissing your dead grandmother.
Disgusting.
So why would you, even if it tasted good, knowing that it was going to make your breath smell like rotten human, like why would you eat it?
I don't know. That's disgusting.
Like what is your favorite food in the world?
I don't know, man. Like sushi. We'll just go with that because it's my favorite, like prepared food.
So if you knew when you ate sushi, your breath would smell like 25-year-old vomit, dung beetle nastiness, and that you couldn't get it out of your mouth for like a day, would you eat sushi?
Probably.
Seriously? Not me. I couldn't do it.
I just wouldn't talk to anybody.
What if you had to smell it yourself?
Oof. I hate the smell of vomit.
But it tastes good, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the thing, man. It's like that's like the argument of like, well, what if you tasted your own shit and it just tasted like hamburger? You know, like you don't know, but
I
what
don't
if
think
it does?
I don't think that's the same thing. Kind of, but not the same.
Kind of like
You're comparing eating feces and eating sushi.
Well, no, I get it's the backwards way of doing it. Like eating something really disgusting, and then you're like, well, it tastes like hamburger.
Yes, I
It
don't
tastes
know.
good.
You're disgusting.
I know.
You should never even think of something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
I just wanna crack that door with that boys, yeah. No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for licking, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, let my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping in go-kart the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro, brotherhood worth more than a huge blow.
So before we get into our main little topic we're about to do, I just wanted to, get up on my podium real quick and have a little hissy fit, if you will.
Why?
What? Why or about what?
Why?
Why do I want to get on my podium?
Yeah.
Because this is my place to interject my anger.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go for it.
So, it's recently dawned on me, either I'm getting older, well, of course I'm getting older, like I'm either getting old and my eyes are failing, or the headlights on the new cars are blinding.
Okay, I agree with you there, yeah.
Dude, I was literally driving home from Missouri, and there was, like, I got down to the side road over by the high school, and I was coming back that way, and there was a guy that was like a mile and a half away, and his lights were so bright, like I had to squint my eyes to see the road. And like when he passed me finally, like I literally could not see. Even like trying to stare at the white light, or the white line on the road, like I could not see anything. I was completely blind.
Wow, that doesn't sound good.
I know, like they're making the lights on these cars so bright you can't see while you're driving in the dark.
It's never quite been that bad for me, but because I'm nearsighted, I like if my windshield is not completely clean, like if there's fingerprints on it or pollen or dust or something,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I'm driving in the dark and one of those bright lights, which they're what are they called? Like the far lights,
The brights?
the brights.
They're not brights.
Right. They don't have their brights on. They're just the new lights they put on cars now. Either way, it my eyes want to focus on my windshield. So like it's hard for me to focus my eyes out to see the road better. And it really sucks. And it's never like blinding me because I don't ever directly look at the light.
Maybe that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
think
deer
you
in the
are.
headlights effect.
You're like,
I'm just like,
is this actually happening right now? Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it got so bad that I started getting irritated. And you know how I am with road rage.
Yep.
And like every time I saw somebody with like those new lights on their car, I just started flashing my brights at them, knowing that they weren't their brights. I was just pissed. I was like, "Here, eat my bright lights."
Well, see, I can't tell. I mean, I have the same question as you. I don't know if that's us getting older, because it could be. We're, the same age. So it could be us getting older, or it could be the new cars. I think it's the new cars.
It has to be. Because there's a huge difference between like the standard like yellow or white light, and all these new ones are like blue.
They're not blue. They're just completely white. They're like blinding. It's like, those things like in July 4th, those firecrackers that are just like, it's like a flashbang.
Yeah, pretty much. It's terrible.
Like pure magnesium is what they put in those lights, dude.
It's insane. Anyways, end of rant. What do you have for us today, my friend?
I have some blow your mind facts.
Well, my mind's already blown, so
okay, we have some blow your head facts.
Blow something else.
Oh,
what?
Get out, dude. Get out. No, the blow your mind facts. I looked at a bunch of them. And some of them, kind of blew my mind. It was just kind of things you never think. It's like, back when you were in 7th grade and some kid would come up to you and just tell you some random fact. And you're like, oh, I never thought about that. It's pretty much stuff like that.
That's pretty much me with you every day. You have a head full of...
I do have a head full of random facts.
Yeah.
But,
All right, give me your first one.
All right. Humans are the only animals that enjoy spicy foods.
Humans are the only animal. Are humans animals?
Yes. Come on, dude. Biology.
I don't think we're animals.
Yes,
I mean, people
are.
act like animals.
We're in the animal kingdom. We're primates.
Are you sure?
Oh my God. Are we going to have to pause this episode so you can...
No. I'll have to take your word for you. I mean... Yeah, go ahead. Anyways.
I was just saying, like, humans are the only animals that enjoy spicy foods, which is, I think, odd. It's something that we've kind of evolved into as we've discovered spices and things like that. But it's a regular occurrence in a lot of different cultures and their meals around the world. Like anywhere in Asia, anywhere in South America or Central America is all about spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really odd how we've kind of evolved to like spicy things. And from this article, it says that there's no health benefit to eating spicy foods at all.
I heard it would increase your metabolism.
I think that's a myth because it just makes you shit.
Fair enough.
But the only thing that research finds is that it may fight off fungus, which could be a good thing. I don't know why
like
you'd be
toe fungus, like toe jam.
I don't know, man. But
I don't need no mushrooms growing out of my fingers.
But I'll admit I like a little spice in my foods every once in a while.
I wouldn't say we're the only animals that like spice, because my dog will chow down some spicy food. He may not like enjoy it later.
Well, how much shit do I put in my mouth that later I'm like, why did I put that in my mouth?
I'm sure my dog says the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as he ate something spicy, he's probably like, never again. And then he forgets because he's a dog.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway.
Fair enough.
Next one here. Humans are the only ones whose brains shrink over time.
Oof.
Yeah, we're just dum-dums, dude.
Well, I think the whole human body shrinks over time, doesn't it?
I think so, because I mean, you know, like Larry King's back looks like a question mark. Like, so he looks like he's shrinking.
Well, I think what it is like the cartilage in your back, like in between your spine, in between, what is it? Vertebrae? Is that what I'm trying to find?
The cartilage in between your vertebrae.
Yeah, it eventually wears out.
Yeah,
and
I
you
think
just
that's what it is.
shrink. So
I mean, it's the same with your knees. Like if you're in any kind of sport, man, by the time you're 40, your legs are gone.
toast.
They're toast.
Or if you're a bigger person like me, your legs are toast.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. We're going to be in wheelchairs in like 15 years, dude.
I'm down. I'll be like Bran Stark.
Just stare at people when they come in the room. You couldn't see it, but I just
stare at my screen.
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, because our brains are the only ones that shrink, which this doesn't make much sense to me because it says that's why things like Alzheimer's disease and dementia happen is just because of that shrinkage. But it happens in like I mean Alzheimer's we can't tell if an animal has it, but like animals do come down with dementia.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like my dog that's sitting there snoring. I'm pretty sure she's got dementia because sometimes she'll forget that she eats. She'll forget that she's been outside. Either that or she's like really figured out how to trick us to think that she needs to go back outside. But I honestly think she just forgets most of the time, what she does.
If Roxy were ever to be put into human form, she'd be like Melisandre when she took off her necklace.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, we'll move on here. So potato chips cause more weight gain than any other food.
I believe that for sure.
I believe it too.
Dude, okay. So I'm sure this is with everybody else, but whether the chip bag is, a travel size, like the little 8-ounce bags, or a full size bag, which I have no idea what it is, I can literally eat the whole thing from start to finish.
Me too.
Without even realizing it. Like if I'm watching a movie.
As long as I have something to drink to go with it. But yes, I agree with you. Like I can chow down on Doritos. Like this has happened before. All right. I'm sitting there like watching a movie or a show on my computer and I steal one of my girlfriend's like Dorito bags. Like it's like a family size bag.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there chowing down. All of a sudden I'm feeling crumbs and I'm like, oh, she's going to be pissed. I
done messed up.
So yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if it's Doritos slogan, but the whole, oh no, it's Lay's. It's Lay's, the one that's like, you can't eat just one.
Yeah, dude. They put crack in that stuff.
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't know what it is. Like, you can't do it with candy because you'll start eventually, like when you start eating too much candy, like sweets, you'll start to get sick. Like your stomach will get upset. And once you've gotten that far, you're already effed. Like there's no turning back. You're just going to have to endure having that heavy, sick stomach. But chips don't do that. You can just keep eating them. And they're like not enough food to really ever trigger that stuff in your brain to make you stop eating, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so you just keep eating it.
A lot of things like that don't trigger your stomach. There's I don't know, there's a lot of things that don't trigger your stomach until like 30 minutes later. But if you actually had some chips and then all of a sudden you stop having chips for like 20 minutes, you'll feel full.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Anyway, I'm just going to move on to the next fact here.
Yeah, move on. Hurry up.
Wow. So, according to this article, which I don't know who did this article, so I don't know how many of these are even real, but 1/3 of all fish on average at the store is mislabeled.
Come again?
1/3 of all fish at the store is mislabeled.
So like the fillets that we're buying that are supposed to be like ahi tuna or whatever, for example, something else.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's probably why all these people are getting sick from eating tilapia, because it's probably some other trash fish other than tilapia.
I mean, it says specifically here it's often used to deliberately mislead consumers and get them to buy more expensive fish when it's not that expensive fish.
That's effed up, dude. That's false advertisement.
It is, but I mean, stuff like that doesn't get checked. There's only certain food items at stores that actually have to be checked like that. And I don't think, fish fillets are a part of that process. But it says that an example it gives is, you're buying tilapia, or you're getting tilapia when you're paying for red snapper when it looks the same as a fillet.
I feel like it doesn't, because I think red snapper is not a white fish. Is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's using that example, so I'm guessing they look similar.
I mean, I'd have to look that up, but I think red snapper is, well, it could be a white fish. I don't know. I know tilapia is a white fish because I've always bought it.
Right.
And I know red snapper's outside is red, hence the name red snapper.
Right.
But I thought it was a red inside too. But it could be a white fish. I mean, I know majority of fish is white, so
yeah.
But that'd be some boo-boo, though.
And you know where they can definitely do it is in restaurants. You don't know what you're eating.
Oh, especially once it's breaded and stuff?
Yeah. You don't know what kind of fish. You don't know what kind of fish that is. It says snapper was found to be mislabeled 87% of the time.
Oof.
So 87% of the time you're buying snapper, it's something else.
Well, we don't really have very many stores around here that sell snapper, so that's more probably like a coastal thing.
Probably. And it says tuna was mislabeled 59% of the time.
Labeled as, I mean, tuna has a very distinct taste.
Does it though?
I think so. Because
have you ever had? Okay, hold on. I know. Obviously, the tuna cans and how they make them and the stuff that's in there is very distinct. But have you ever had like filleted tuna?
Yeah, raw.
Well, obviously on sushi, but like, okay.
Like if you pick up a chunk of sashimi tuna and eat it, and then pick up a chunk of tilapia or something, like you're gonna be able to tell the difference. I've never ate sashimi tilapia. I'd probably vomit, but.
Well, have you ever? What I'm saying is, like, have you ever had like cooked tuna that's not from like a can or like cut up?
Not that I can think of, no.
Because if I were to guess, it doesn't say in this article, but if I were to guess, tuna probably has a similar consistency to what are those little fish in the tin cans?
Sardines?
Yes. Like if they actually cut them up and put mayonnaise in them with like the oil and everything, I think they could mask them as tuna.
Ugh. Dude, sardine. Like, have you ever eaten sardines before?
Yeah.
Do you like that stuff?
It's not bad, especially if they're in the cans with like the tomato paste. I think they're pretty good.
They still have like the bones and the heads and the eyes and everything.
No, that's taken out. No, you can literally just eat it like with a spoon. You just bite into it and there's no bones. I mean, I haven't in a long time, but from what I remember, it kind of just tastes like tuna to me.
One of the things that I'll never forget, my grandparents used to live in Indiana. We used to go up there every summer as kids to visit our grandparents for like a couple weeks out of the summer. And at least every time we went up there once a year, one of our meals, like our lunch, like a brunch lunch or something to hold us over until dinner, my grandma would always get saltine crackers and sardines, and she would try and make us eat that. And I just remember crying because I didn't want to eat the fish because it had like the head and everything still on it. I was like, are you effing me right now? Like, I'm not about to eat that. And then like, well, if you don't want that, you're going to go hungry. And I was like, I guess I'll go hungry, then starve me. Like, I'm not eating that crap.
I mean, I remember when I was a child that we had sardine cans and stuff like that as well. It's not something you see rich people have in their pantries, but I don't know, just tasted fine to me.
Well, you taste fine to me too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna move on here. So, did you know bananas can't reproduce?
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, most fruit can't reproduce.
Yes, it can.
Can it?
Well, okay. You have to think of the plant way of reproducing. I'm saying like, the fruit falls on the ground, seeds go in the soil, another pear tree comes up or whatever.
Oh, right.
Time.
I mean,
that's reproducing.
Okay. Well, bananas don't have seeds.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I don't know how they came to existence, to be honest with you, but
the Lord made them.
The Lord made them. But the only way they reproduce is at a certain point of them ripening, they get the stem cut off, and that's what's planted, I guess, to make
the
new
stem?
trees. Yeah.
Really?
Something to do with the stem, because if a banana falls on the ground and just rots, it doesn't reproduce that. Like, it doesn't create more trees. Which is really odd, I found, because like we have to manually keep them going. So
will a banana tree continue to produce fruit for its entire life, or will it only produce so much fruit?
Well, it'll probably die eventually, but I don't know. Maybe
I need to look that up. Dude, this world would be a sad place if we lost bananas.
It would be. Yeah.
Banana nut bread. Ooh.
I mean, bananas across the world are they're a very popular food in, I think, every culture. Like, everyone eats them.
I mean, you got to have bananas for your Cheerios.
What?
Yeah.
I've never had bananas with my Cheerios.
Like plain Cheerios, man, with milk. Like, you got to have something in there. Otherwise, you might as well just eat some sawdust.
That's true.
So it's a healthy alternative to adding like a couple spoonfuls of sugar to your Cheerios like I used to do. Well, it was terrible.
I wouldn't say it's a healthy alternative. Well, okay.
It's a healthier alternative than shaking sugar.
It's honestly better than the Cheerios themselves if you just had the banana.
Probably. The banana and the milk would probably be better. Well, they say Cheerios helps fight like heart disease or something.
Yeah, what do they put medication in it? Get the fuck out of here.
That's the whole grains or something. I don't know.
The whole grains.
They medicate our Cheerios, bro.
I guess.
Tinfoil hats.
Same with the potato chips.
Yep.
Apparently the least interesting day in history that's recorded was April 11th of 1954.
Nothing happened.
Apparently the biggest news of that day was a soccer player named Jack Shufflebotham died.
Oof. Wow.
And a Turkish academic named Abdullah Atalar was born. That's all. Apparently, if you look up any other day in history, someone died, something happened somewhere in the world. But that day, nothing happened.
That could have been the day like somebody won the lottery too.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That would have been more news than what I just said.
What a boring day.
I know.
Somebody had a car accident somewhere on that day.
Well, yeah, but
may not be news.
It wouldn't be international news.
Oh, I got you.
That
so
would
world
suck.
News.
Yeah, that would suck if you died on the least interesting day of all time and you're
somebody
not even
did
mentioned.
For sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, someone definitely did.
That'd be the day I would die.
I mean, yeah, you're pretty not interesting.
Wow. You're going to be like that, huh?
So if you were to guess, what do you think is the longest living insect on Earth?
Ooh. Longest living insect. Probably not anything that flies. So I'm assuming it's going to be a ground bug. Trying to think of something that doesn't have any enemies but doesn't eat anything.
They have plenty to eat.
Ooh, they have plenty to eat. And they're an insect?
Mm-hmm.
So is this like lifespan wise?
Yes, it says they
without no danger, they live the longest.
Right. Scientists estimate that they can live up to 100 years.
Oh, roach.
That's what I would have guessed too before I read this article, because now cockroaches have been around the longest time, like continuously, because apparently they were around
during the dinosaurs age.
Those trilobites are like giant cockroaches.
Ew, dude, gross.
They look like.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, it's termites.
I could see that for sure.
And by plenty to eat, I mean there's wood everywhere.
Everywhere. Plus my house. They're probably in here already.
But yeah, they say some termites live up to 100 years.
Dude, termites are like, what is the point of a termite? I know like everything in that, the insect and, animal kingdom, they all have a role to play. Those mother effers, all they do is just destroy anything made out of wood.
Well, just to make a full circle here, they were made by the devil.
Yeah, exactly. Like they honestly, I don't know what purpose they serve.
Yeah, I don't know if they do anything good. Maybe they do. I haven't done any research on termites. But
Termites, dude.
Maybe like when they're not, destroying your house, maybe they do have some kind of positive effect out in the wild.
One thing, homeowner, like tips as being a homeowner, if you ever see any of your neighbors get termite installation, you better get termite installation, like Centricon stuff put in, because they actually can't kill the termites. All they do is put the Centricon stuff down, and it keeps them away from your house. So instead of going to your neighbor's house, they're going to trickle on over to yours. So all you can really do is move them from yard to yard to yard. So if you ever see somebody getting Centricon put in their yard for termites, you better go ahead and get it done.
Or you can buy a flamethrower.
Dude, they're underground.
I know.
I mean, if you want to burn your house down.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, might as well. Collect the insurance money.
Yep. So apparently dogs can smell cancer.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Remember watching a news story about this little Shih Tzu that could tell whenever her owner's cancer was coming back, like out of remission.
Yeah, apparently, like if your dogs start acting very weird around you specifically, it's like a sign for you to go to the doctor. And it's been caught apparently many times of cancer developing in someone when their dogs have been acting up around them.
Oh, I better go to the doctor. Now I'm going to be thinking about that every time like the dogs start acting funny. I'm like, I've got cancer.
You're welcome.
Wow, thanks. I'm going to be like Googling my symptoms, and then I'm going to see cancer, and then I'm just going to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can just...
Cancer is a pain in the dick, dude. I mean, I've never had it, but like...
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of family members go through it, so...
Stupid.
It sucks. So this next one you can definitely confirm, and I can confirm because it has to do with both of us. So boyfriends do more housework than husbands.
True. Because whenever you're a boyfriend, you're trying to woo the significant other. Like making it look like you take care of stuff, pick stuff up, your place is always clean. And then once you get married, you're like, yeah, not that important anymore.
Man, if I'm doing more housework now than I am when I'm married, I'm worried.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Gonna have one of those hoarders houses.
I can't even get you to sweep the floor at work before you leave.
Wow.
I
swept it.
Not today.
I did.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. You did a piss poor job then.
There was a lot more dust than what you saw.
It's all right, little buddy.
Who would you guess is the world's biggest tire producer? This is kind of a trick question, but think about it.
World's biggest tire producer?
Yeah. This is actually a really dumb fact. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
Goodyear.
No.
Michelin.
No.
Walmart.
No.
Who?
Lego.
What?
Like Legos.
Like the toy Legos?
Yes.
They don't make round things?
Apparently, they're counting tiny toy tires.
Oh, that's stupid. Tell
Exactly.
that person to flush their life down the toilet.
Wow,
that's like the dumbest fact ever.
I agree.
You should be embarrassed.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Nope.
Sorry. you sleep deeper on a hammock than a bed.
I've never slept in a hammock.
I've taken a nap in it before, but I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know. It felt like a normal nap to me.
I see too many people get like rolled up and end up like wrapped up inside of them, and I'm like, nah, it's not worth the trouble. Like, I just go to my bed. Plus, it's outside. You know how many insects are around when you're sleeping in a hammock? You got spiders that could crawl up there. You got mosquitoes that could bite you. Like, meh. I'll sleep in my bed.
Well, you're a trooper. I mean, I would never replace my bed with a hammock in my
Absolutely
room.
not. Ever.
Ever. So the surface area of Russia is slightly larger than that of the surface area of Pluto.
Pluto's tiny.
Yeah. I didn't know that it was that tiny, but damn. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, you sure? That kind of sounds off to me.
Well, it's not off. Why? Like, I mean, if you put Pluto and Earth next to each other, I could see it. It's just when you think of it in the sense they're presenting it to you, like Russia's bigger than Pluto. If it were, the surface area.
Right.
If you were to roll Russia up into a ball,
it'd
be bigger than Pluto, like the surface area of it.
You're bigger than Pluto.
Wow. Anne Frank and Martin Luther King Jr. were born in the same year.
No.
Yeah.
I thought Anne Frank was during the Holocaust.
I mean, she was, but she was a child then. But that's the trick here, is that you tend to think, when you think of Anne Frank, you definitely think of her as a child. And back then, during the Holocaust, Martin Luther King Jr. was a child. So they were born the same year.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't have figured that.
Pretty interesting. Apparently, Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how old Oxford University is, but that's pretty crazy if it's been around that long.
Is there an Oxford in the States? I don't think so, right? That's a European thing.
Oxford is in the UK, which that's why it could make sense. Like England could have made Oxford in like the 1200s or something, and we just don't know,
Possible. I don't know when the Aztec Empire started.
I don't know either. I just know that whenever the Spanish took it over, it was like 1650s or something.
Yeah, something.
No, I'm probably way off on that.
Yeah,
I think it's way earlier. But somewhere in there, 1500s, early 1500s. Anyway.
You got any more?
I mean, yeah, I can keep going for like 2 more hours, dude.
Oh, Lord, I don't want to sit here for 2 more hours, that's for sure.
Well,
find your best one. Give me your last best one.
Oh, boy. Best one, huh?
One that you think will blow my mind.
France was still executing people with a guillotine when the first Star Wars film came out.
When did the first Star Wars film come out?
Like 1972.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were still executing people with
Dude, they should still do it today, honestly. Like, it's cheap. It's kind of gory. But, like, if they got a heavy enough blade, it's never going to mess up. And, like, I would be more scared of doing crime knowing that I'm going to get my head chopped off than,
injected.
Getting injected,
Even though I've heard it's very, 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 very painful.
To be injected?
Yeah, because...
Well, when it messes up or they get the doses wrong, sure. But basically, like, the first one kind of numbs you, the second one puts you to sleep, and the third one's supposed to kill you. So you're not supposed to feel anything. Now I've heard of them, like, reversing the dose or getting it messed up or something. That would be pretty shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, that would suck, man. But yeah, that's freaking crazy, though. Like, 1972, France was, like, over there in Europe.
Lopping heads, dude.
People are still being chopped up.
I think they need to bring it back. Capital punishment needs to be like firing squads. They need to be able to be hung, guillotine.
I mean, it'd stop a lot of crime, I think.
Put them on a stretcher, like those medieval stretch tables, and like pull people apart.
It's a little too much, dude.
No, like people wouldn't be out there killing people because they're afraid of getting their arms and legs ripped off of them, and then just their torso just sitting there.
That turned 180 real quick, dude.
I'm gonna turn somebody else 180.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We're signing off. I'm Asen, and I'm always right.
I'm Nathan.
See you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Hey you, yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to coldonepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is @Cold1Podcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify as well as most podcast apps in existence, but if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionsperminute.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink and drive.